Genetics. Stop blaming them for what you're not willing to do. What do we mean by this? Now, when we look at some of the greats, some of the people I admire, so people like Michael Jordan, his dad was an electrical worker. His mum, she was a banker. Alan Sugar, well, to be fair, he lived in a council flat. Cristiano Ronaldo, his dad was an alcoholic and a gardener. And his mum was a cook. Now, so many times I hear people say, I haven't got the genetics for this. I haven't got the genetics to be good at sport, to be good at other things. Okay, I get it sometimes when we look at models and think, oh my God, he's got small joints and he's got big muscle bellies. He looks really good and they're his genetics. To a degree, we are right there. But what's stopping you from being the best you can possibly be? Looking at my mum, she's got an underactive thyroid. Now, I could use the fact that my mum had been overweight and there's thyroid issues in my family, potentially. And I could say, okay, fuck it. Like, I'm going to be overweight. I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm just going to accept that. I could use that my dad died of a stroke. And I could say, okay, I'm destined to die of a stroke if that's going to be linked with your genetics. And a lot of people have that. They have that my parents are overweight, my parents suffer from this, suffer from that, so inevitably I'm going to suffer from it. Yes, there are certain things that get passed down for the generations, but what is stopping you from pushing forward and trying to jump over them as such and being the best you can be? Not only does this come with our health, it comes with your finances. And you look at certain people like Tony Robbins, for example, like he was abused as a child and so many other things have happened to him that he decided to make a change, to flip and just go for it. Change his mindset and really focus on himself. When I work with people with the Revitalized Man program, we really make sure we dive into these things and we see what beliefs they've had that aren't necessarily their beliefs. Beliefs that are actually passed down from their generations, that you could argue genetic beliefs. When you look into, I spoke about the mind-made prison before. There's a story in there with regards to a guy who used to chop sausages in his frying pan. Every single time. Loved sausages, used to chop them, not lengthways but in half. His wife asked, why do you chop these sausages this way? Why? And he was like, I'm not really sure. I just know that my mum used to do it. So he asked his mum. And his mum was like, well, your nan used to do it. So he rang up his grandparent, his nan, and was like, Nan, why do you chop the sausages this way? Well, when we were younger, we couldn't afford a big enough frying pan, so I used to chop the sausages that way because then your granddad could have sausages cooked. If they were the full length, they wouldn't fit in the frying pan. So it was just that something was passed down from a generation to another generation, a belief that wasn't his own, that was why he continued to do it. There was no logical reason for him to still chop the sausages that way, and that's the same with your health, with your mindset, and with your entire life. Are you living by the means that you decide to live? By your beliefs? And I'll do a video on values and beliefs later in the week. Are you living by your beliefs and your values, or are you living by your parents' beliefs, by your parents' genetics and your parents' values? Have a think about that one.